hello peeps or whatever. I'm gonna tell you a story time. Once I reach for something. Yes. I'm using a Finding Dory cup. Well. So this all starts with Lydia, my boyfriend, and me. So me and my boyfriend were just hanging out, being gross. I see a text from Lydia. We want to go to this certain club we call Go To. Got into the club and we started to drink and dance and be stupidly dancing. And Lydia only had like a few WKDs. Not even that many, but already she drank a lot, so she was very, very drunk. And also her sugar level was very low. That day she hadn't eaten enough, as she told me. I noticed like times like there was this guy that tried to go up to her behind her to do whatever, hump against her, like be creep, I don't know. And I actually pulled her towards me, and this guy was giant. Like he was like fucking huge. Like he was close to the end of 6 foot. Guy is disabled and he walked straight away. We decided to leave because she was so drunk. And we were trying to, she could hardly walk, and we were trying to like, and my boyfriend were on either side trying to help her to walk. And she kept on like falling over, she was just really drunk. And when we crossed the road, there were a policeman next to her, and Lydia full on blacked out. She fainted, and I tried to wake her up thinking, that might be a good idea. Right, I'm back. My camera's probably in a different position slightly, but the girl is back. Me and my boyfriend were on either side of her trying to help her to walk, and she kept on falling over because her sugar level was low. And we crossed the road, and there were a load of policemen on the edge of the road, where it went like this, the edge of the road, and then 2 roads next to each other. The club was just like a couple of buildings away. The club was, and then a road down, and we'd already walked down there. And then Lydia decides to collapse on us, and we're just like, what the fuck? Oh god. And he's like, alright, it's like, a policeman was like, oh, she does this all the time, she's gotta learn, and like, what's her name again? We have to deal with her a lot. And like, Lydia Williams. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, you her friend? Yeah, okay. And then they turn around and they do nothing about it, and they don't help us whatsoever. They don't try and like help us get her back or anything. They don't do a huge deal, and they don't fine her or anything, but they don't help us. And we're just there like, okay, well fuck. And my brother was like, oh, I knew this had happened, and she's like, okay, we're fine, whatever. And so he rushes off. I've got her head on my knee, sitting on the floor. He rushes off to get some money so we can get a taxi back for Lydia, and then so we can take her back home. She is running around like, I tried to wake her up. I woke her up. She started to run like really fast and like walk really fast to her house, and she was stumbling a lot, and like it wasn't a good idea for her to not get a taxi back, but she wouldn't listen to us. And she was very drunk. And so we kept on going and rushing after her, trying to stop her from falling and all that. And there was points where we were both on the same side of her, so to stop her from walking into the road, I was on one side of her. And then we crossed the road, and we thought, okay, she's fine now, she's alright, and we kind of let our guard down, and she falls. We walked past the police station, and there's police outside, like guiding police into the place, and she goes and like falls down and hits her head on the pavement. and she starts spitting, and we're like, fuck, what? And the policeman rushes over, and then more policemen rush over, and they're asking her all questions about it, and I'm just like, she keeps on fitting, and like she's moving around, and like, ugh. And like at one point she actually accidentally exposes herself, and like everyone's trying to stop her from hitting her head on the floor, and I'm using my bag so she doesn't hit her head on the floor, and we're just like trying, and they're coming around and they're trying to get her to like become conscious of it, like saying, Lydia, wake up, you, like, and trying to wake her up, and she won't wake up, and she's still like fitting and fighting back, and there was one point where she's fighting back and elbowed me in the arm, and I got like a really bad bruise. She has got a sharp elbow. And so then the policemen and we're with them, and they're like, one of them wants us to go, and like they use the police van to get there to the accident emergency, and I go in the back of the cage with Lydia, and I'm holding her up by my arms on her waist, because obviously the policeman was saying like, oh, I never know where to, you know, hold, because it's like with women, like it's, you don't know where to grab or stuff like that, and like it's like, yeah, it's pretty true. And like as I'm a woman, it's okay, because like I can hold her however, you know. And I kept on trying to keep her decent. And I was in back of a cage, like a police van cage, you know where the criminals go, in the cage. I was in there with a policeman on the other side holding her, and she was, oh, it was like, the guy in the front was taking ages to like open up the doors, and he was like, oh, you're really strong. I'm like, I was struggling so bad. Of course I am very strong, but I was still struggling a lot. And she was just still fitting, and like, oh, my arms were exhausted. I could see David from the other side of the cage, and like, and I could see David on the other side of the cage, and I was like, I'm exhausted. Like, I was like, help me, like, signal with my eyes to my friend. Because I'm like, because my arms were like, I was like, my hands were sweating, I couldn't hardly hold on to her anymore. And the guy opened it up, and I'm like, can you just take her from me? I can't hold her anymore, I'm so exhausted. And they did, and they put her in a bed, and they rolled her in, and she's still fitting, but I got in hospital, and there was a huge wait, and the guy that was waiting behind us was from prison, in a wheelchair with handcuffs on him, which was absolutely bizarre. And I was very concerned, as when you think of criminals, you think bad, and you just see them and you're like, they haven't seen a proper naked woman in years probably, or done anything with them, and they've seen this young girl fitting around and her boobs being exposed, this guy, and I'm like, I don't want his eyes to see her body, like. And I literally was like quite scared. I was freaking out. My anxiety was top level. I was shaking. My mind was racing. I was just all over the place. I was freaking out, having anxiety attacks, being really, really worried about her, at almost points of crying. And then we got into A&E after a huge wait. They put a drip into her arm. They checked her out. She was fine, and they tried to wake her up to get her to go home. She wouldn't wake up, so we just left, because we waited until 4 o'clock in the morning with her, me freaking out and worrying about her. So yeah, we waited that long for her to wake up and like to take her home, but she didn't. So we went back and we got a taxi back to our holes, because we could stay in the same holes. And I was exhausted after that night, and like didn't wake up until late. That's how I experienced life with Lydia. Haha, puns, because that's her username. It's literally, look at Groot. Groot, let he reacts to sound. This is a present for my boyfriend. He is adorable. Love him.
I am Groot.
Say goodbye, Groot.
I am Groot.
Don't say goodbye. Don't say your name.
I am Groot.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. You want that attitude to me? Fine, Groot. Bye, guys.